I want to show y'all what I use to dress tires and plastic trim. Show you, like, for instance, this little piece right here. This is something, and he'll come up closer on it. This is something that's kind of intricate. If I was, I also use microfiber applicators, on like bigger surfaces like this bumper here. But in intricate little areas like this, you'd have to get something different to get in all this. And so it's just much easier, I've found, with a detail. This is a paint gun, a detail paint gun. So it's little in size, and it is a HVLP, high volume, low pressure. I got this one. It's a Central Pneumatic. I got this one from Harbor Freight. I've also got their little purple gun, and I was using that for a while, and then I got this, and that purple one works fine, but I got this one, and it does work better. This one also comes with the regulator. So, and the tank on this one it's a plastic tank with a screw-off lid. The purple gun, it's a metal or aluminum tank with a lid that just sits on it. But one thing I found, maybe it's just mine, but I'd put it on there, barely put it on there, and it would like get stuck. It'd be really hard to get off. So I mean, you just had to barely sit it on there, and then sometimes it'd fall off. So that was another reason I wanted to try this one. But so yeah, things like this right here. I just did this one before the video, and then I thought, you know what, hey, why don't I make a video about this? I haven't seen, I've seen like one other person I think that has used this to do this, and I just haven't seen a lot of people do it. And so, now I know not everybody carries an air compressor around with them, but to run something like this, now I know it's going to probably say it needs like 7 CFM or something at 40 PSI, but the thing about it is with these, you can run them at like 20 PSI and they'll still work fine. So if you don't buy, well, this one comes with a regulator, so you can leave your tank set up as high as you want to, and then just have it regulated, the air regulated right here. This one, it says max inlet pressure 45 PSI, so definitely don't go above that. It will mess it up, and it just shoots way too much anyways. You don't need that. So a small air compressor, very small air compressor, can power this. Yes, it might run the whole time, but it's fine. It'll still work for you. You don't have to have a bigger air compressor like mine. So I might give you all a little demonstration. Like I said, I use it to do tires. I did the running board here, the mirror, and see, the reason I carry the microfiber applicator around with me, because I found it's just as fast to where I'll take and I'll either spray it directly, spray it directly on the microfiber applicator, and just go over the big surfaces. I can go over real quick with this, but especially little intricate things like this, things that probably most people either just wouldn't dress because you wouldn't get it to look uniform if all you have is a microfiber applicator, even a microfiber towel. Trying to get in this with your fingers, maybe you could, but you probably have to pop the thing off. You just probably wouldn't get it looking completely uniform. You could see spots where you didn't get, and I know before I was doing this is something I would have left alone, because I would rather not dress it than only dress parts of it, if you know what I mean, because I think that just looks like you halfway did it. So, and he'll come back here. I already did this tire here. Now I'm using Mcguire's hyper dressing, and right now I've got it diluted 1:1, so if you can see, now I know this is in a garage, it's not in direct sunlight, but you can kind of see it's got a pretty decent shine to it. Hyper dressing, when you use it 1:1 or even straight up, it does give a pretty good shine. Now this is, I just freshly applied this. You can still see, spots where I put it on a little too heavy. What I aim to do, and I'll show you on this next tire, is trying to put it on and where you don't see any liquid, where you're putting it on just perfectly even. And that's another thing, guys. This saves me so much product. Using a regular squirt bottle, when I would do it that way, especially if I just took the squirt bottle like on bigger tires like this and would spray it directly on the tire instead of using an applicator and spraying it directly on the tire, but then taking an applicator and smoothing it out. I just used a ton of product like that. I found I was wasting a lot of product. And so not only does this put it on real even, but if you don't go too heavy on the trigger, if you learn how to do that, you can save a ton of product by using one of these. So just wanted to show you that one. That's one I already did. And we'll hook this up and we'll go to this next tire and I'll kind of show you how I do it.
All right.
Where are you going?
Doing this other tire.
This time. Alright guys, so I'm just going to go around it. Now, you could probably do it faster by taking a regular squirt bottle and just spraying it and leaving it. Yeah, that's faster, but if you're interested in saving a lot of product and it just looks more even when it's done and it's dry, it looks more even, and it streaking, unless you're just spraying this on at blobs and just do a really bad job, it's going to look really good and even. So I start out by going in the middle of the rim. Now I know he's not close enough for you to see, but basically I'm just sitting here watching this thing. Now I'm putting it on a little heavier right there so you can probably start to see it. But basically the idea of what I aim for is just to put it on until I see it go black or turn that deeper black. And by the way, with these guns, it's a variable trigger. You don't have to just squeeze it all the way, and flood it. Oh, another thing I do, the inside of the fender wells, this one I've still got to clean out, but this works really well, especially for cars that are, skinnier fender wells. It works good because you just shoot it up in there and, it covers everything. So I start with right here around the rim. I try not to get it on the rim. Usually does a pretty good job. It also, you can set it to where it's got a fan or more of a circle. I narrow it in usually when I do around the rim. Sometimes I'll open it up in a fan when I do around bigger tires. Sometimes I'll just get further back, spray it a little heavier. And I don't know if the camera's showing it up. I'm doing this on purpose to where if in the camera, maybe it'll show looking white, looking kind of white. Now, Mcguire's hyper dressing is like a light baby blue. So I guess technically it's a light baby blue, but it kind of looks like it's white liquid on the tire. And that's basically where you're applying it just a little too heavy. Now it'll soak in, it'll be fine. So it's not the end of the world. But like I said, what I usually aim for is just getting it to this right here, and that's where you save a ton of product because it's not gonna, it has nothing to dry up. That's what the tire's gonna look like at the end result. Even right here, that's what it's gonna look like. But this is technically wasting product. That when you see it start to turn white, that's technically where you're wasting product. You get it like this right here, that's what you're aiming for. And I'm not saying that level of shine, just whatever you dilute it at and you're trying to get it, a deeper black, you're aiming to get that and that only. You don't need to see the dressing puddle up. And with the bigger tires, I'll get a little further back, spray it a little heavier, and that speeds things up. Oh, another thing. So on bigger tires where you've got this tread, normally I know, you know, if you just spray on with a squirt bottle, you're going to have puddles in the tread here, and that's where your sling comes from. And if you do it with an applicator, you got to take your applicator and sit there and, you know, go in each tread and get those puddles out, rub it out. With this here, you know, all I got to do is just spray it on nice and even, and it gets in every little crack and crevice and groove, and zero sling if you apply it like I just did, where you can see it's shine to it now, but you don't see any of that white. So, you know, almost instantly you could take off and drive and have no sling. So, I wish I would have showed this right here. You know, it'd be easy for me to show the bumper. You know, there's not much to that, but little intricate things like the hood latch up here, this really works good for that as well. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the tire. You know, that's probably one of the main benefits to it, or one of the good benefits really, is that, like I said, you can put it on perfectly even, and it gets in every little crack and crevice, because it's a pain with an applicator trying to get in all the cracks and crevices and not leave any puddles so there's no sling. So, like I said, guys, you don't need a big compressor to run this. So, you know, doesn't matter. I run mine off the generator, and it works just fine. But you don't have to have a generator. Obviously, you can run it off your customer's power. Just a small compressor, you know, even though the small compressors aren't going to say they put out enough CFM, I promise you, you can get by with running this thing at, you know, 30, 40, 20 PSI. You can get by just fine and do it like I just did it. So, if y'all have any questions, leave it down in the comments. If there's any videos y'all would like to see, let me know. And other than that, guys, y'all be good or be good at it.